The story of how Dan-O's seasoning started. You know, I was the type of person that liked to play around in the kitchen, and I remember being in college, and I remember a buddy of mine, it was 2 o'clock in the morning, all we had was this bone-in, skin-on chicken breast, and I remember him just putting all these different seasonings on there, and we put it in the oven, and it ended up being amazing. And I just started playing around with the spices myself, and I just kind of developed this recipe using the rosemary and the garlic and onion, a little cumin, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And it always seemed like every time I would get one of these store-bought seasonings, I would sprinkle generously, like you've seen that I like to do, and every time it would end up too salty. And I kind of just developed this perfect little blend of herbs and spices with the right amount of salt. And it stuck with me for the next 15 years of my life. So anytime I go to a party or anything like that, a family get together, I'd be like, I'll go mix up some of this, a batch of this seasoning that I make. And all I would do is just put some olive oil on the chicken, coat it with that seasoning, throw it in the oven, and literally just bake it in the oven. And so it wasn't till 2015 when I found myself as a bartender. I just remember bringing in this chicken, the one guy sitting there, and I was like, hey man, like I got a bunch of this chicken, do you want some? And he was like, yeah, I'll take some. So I remember giving him a couple pieces of the chicken, and he was like, this is the best chicken I've ever had in my life, why aren't you selling this? And I was like, Dan-O's, don't sell the chicken, sell the seasoning. So that was my aha moment. I knew I had something special. I knew I had this flavor. I knew I had this great name, Dan-O's. So this, I probably made 6 or 7 of these, and I took them to, I remember my family's Christmas. I remember at the end of it, there was a few of them left behind because nobody took me serious. I mean, would you take somebody serious if they're like, oh, I'm getting ready to start a seasoning business called Dan-O's, and they give you that? Just saying. I just knew I needed to come up with a logo. This literally hit me in the middle of the night. This was after I registered the business. I remember it was probably 4 or 5 months into the idea. I knew I needed a logo, and that's when it hit me. I was like, a little Huckleberry Finn character. Like, I need a little character that I can't steal from the internet. I gotta have somebody draw it. And so I knew the guy that worked in the kitchen at the bar where I was working could do a little drawing, because I noticed he was doing a little doodling here and there when I would go back in the kitchen. So I literally paid him $100 to come up with this concept of little Danny in the state of Kentucky walking through with some farm animals. The farm animals never made it to the final cut. It was just the state of Kentucky. It says, taste the secret. That was my first slogan that took me forever to come up with. And yeah, so now on the new labels, all we use from the original drawing is just little Danny. It's pretty cool. At the time, right when COVID hit, I think I was 12,000 followers on Facebook. That was my largest account. And I was maybe 1,000 on Instagram. TikTok was like 5,000 or something like that. And I just remember coming home and I was just like, I'm making TikToks. Like, the only way my business is going to survive is if I do $200 a day online. And so I just started making one TikTok after another. I remember it was about a weekend. My first viral video was March 18th. And I wasn't going to shoot the video. I was a little discouraged. And I was like, you know what? I'll just shoot it. I pulled out my phone. I was shooting with one hand, cooking with the other, and just kind of talking in the background. I made this crab cake video, and all the comments were like, that's not how you make a crab cake. What's this Dan-O's? And I made a next viral video and the next viral video, and my sales just kept going. And all those comments started to turn into positivity. Like, all the haters started to become like, oh man, you really don't know till you Dan-O. Everybody was loving the slogans. I was telling my story, and people were like, this product really is damn good. It really is Dan-O really might be the best Dan seasoning you ever had. I believed that I had this totally unique flavor. Then I found out it was better for you by not using all the salt, no sugar, no chemicals. And so that's what kept me motivated, was the vision to change the world one table at a time by sharing my awesome recipe. It's so awesome to think that I started this business in 2015 as a bartender with a dream, and it took me 2 years to package it, and then I had to pivot to get to this product, and then I had to go out there and do my first flea market, and then did 3 years of flea markets and festivals and state fairs, and just grinded because I believed that I made the best seasoning product on the market. It is why I was so motivated. It's why I never gave up. I'll tell you one thing about cooking. It's kind of a universal language. Everybody loves to eat, at least I do. And so, if you're anything like me, if you enjoy cooking, having fun in the kitchen, you're gonna love Dano's seasoning. That's why we say, yum yum get you some, and you don't know till you Dano.